Most beginners actually don't know why, when and how to use debugging. If you see this code here, now when I run this code here, now I will get one exception, that is arithmetic exception at line number 9, right? Now you might say that Java already shows the exception and the line number. Why I need debugging? I can easily find the line number and I will fix that and then make it work. The answer is yes, you can, but Java only tells you where it crashed. But it does not tell you why was B 0. What happened in the previous line is that made it 0. Was it a user input issue, a calculation issue, or a logical issue? And that is the part that the debugger actually reveals. So before I debug this code, let us start from one simple example and understand the very first command, that is step over. Now if you see this code here guys, I want to add two numbers, right? 5 plus 4 which is equal to 9. But when I run this code, I am getting 8. Why? Because of this minus c. But just imagine I don't know what's happening inside this program. So now I'm going to debug this code. So the very first thing is you have to set one breakpoint. So I will set one breakpoint on line number 7. Just double click on this line bar on line number 7 and put one breakpoint. Now what is breakpoint? Think of a breakpoint like saying to the Eclipse IDE, hey boss, stop the program right here so I can see what is happening inside. But you might ask, how do I know where to set a breakpoint? There is actually no rule that you have to set breakpoint here, here or here. Okay, it's completely up to you. If you feel that this line looks wrong or doubtful, you can put it here. Or if you feel that this line looks doubtful, you can put it here or here. It's up to you. But why I put here? Because I want to show you from the basic. Now after that, I will go ahead and click on this debug icon. So just click on this debug icon. And now you have to click here switch. Now as you can see, a different window came. This is your debug perspective. Okay. Now if you see here that it highlights the line number 7. It means that the execution has stopped till this line, which means everything above this highlighted line will be executed, which is actually this line. And that's why you can see here in the variable section argus and a value. Now what is this argus? Argus is actually this variable name. Okay. And now what is string 0 mean here? It means the array has size 0. And what does this id equal to 20 mean guys? See, Eclipse gives each object a unique id while debugging. The id is just something that Eclipse uses internally to keep track of objects. We don't need to worry about it, we can ignore it, okay? Which means guys, this highlighted line is not yet executed, okay? Now if you want to execute this highlighted line, you need to click here step over command. Now what is step over command guys? Step over means just run this line and then move to the next line. But do not open or go inside any method. So it's like saying just do this line normally and take me to the next line. Okay, this is called step over command. Now when I click here step over command, you will see it highlighted this line and it executed this line. That's why I can easily see a and 5 value. Now if you want to execute this line, again you have to click here step over command. Now it highlighted this line and it executed this line. That's why I can see here variable b and the value is 4. And now if you want to execute this line, you need to click here step over again. Now it reached here and it executed this line. Now 5 plus 4 is equal to 9, which means this line is perfectly valid and something is going to wrong here. Okay. Now if I want to execute this line, I need to click here step over again. Now as you can see here guys, when it executed this line and highlighted this line, I can easily see that 5 plus 4 is equal to 9, but it gave me 8, which means the bug is in this line. Okay, that is minus c. And because of this out.println method, I got the output on the console as well. Now I am on the last line. Now when I click again step over, it executed all the lines and now my debugging is complete. Okay, if everything is complete, then you can click on this bug icon, just right click on this bug icon and click on close. Now you are back to your Java perspective. And if you want to remove this breakpoint, just double click on this again and it will remove your breakpoint. And now guys, what is step into command? Now if you see here that I have an add method here, okay, which is taking two values x and y, and it will add those two values and then it will return the sum. But here I did one mistake. It should be x plus y, but I gave x plus x. But when I supply two values here, it compiles and runs fine, but the output is not what I was expecting. Output should be 84, but it's giving me 160. Now see here, when I run this code, it gives me 160, but I was expecting 84, right? So the problem is inside the add method, but from the main function, I cannot see what's happening inside the method, and that is where the step into command is very useful. Now see here, I will put one breakpoint on line number 7, okay, and I will click on debug icon. Now again here it highlighted this line, which means this line is not yet executed, okay. Now I will click on step over command, which means now this line is executed and highlighted this line, and I can easily see the variable which is I and 80. Now what I want to show is that is step into command. Now see here guys, when I click again step over, it will reach this line, right? Now when I reach on this line, here is a method call. Now I will use step into command. Now what is step into command guys? Step into means take me inside the method so I can see exactly what's happening line by line. Step into means what? Go inside. So when I click here, step into command, it will go inside this method. As you can see that it highlighted this line, which means it's inside a method now and it executed this line. That's why I can easily see x80 and y has a value 4, which is actually this line, right? Which means this line is executed and this line is not yet executed. Now if I want to execute this line, I can use step over command. Now it executed this line, which is sum is equal to 160. But here is a bug, right? Because 80 plus 4 is 84, but it gave me 160. So which means the bug is on this line. And now if I want to execute this line, I need to click what? Again step over command. Now see here guys, because of this return statement, it went actually back where it was called, okay. Now when I click again step over, it completed this line. That's why I can easily see on console the value 160. Now when I click again step over, as you can see here guys, my all debugging is now complete. Okay, now guys, what is step return? See, step return is very easy guys. Step return is used when you are inside a method and you want to come back out of that method immediately, okay. I'm using the word immediately. Now you might ask, I can also use step over to come back out of the method, right? The answer is yes, you can, but the thing is, step over will only take you out if you are already on the last line. And if you are not on the last line, step over will simply move to the next line inside the method, as we saw few minutes back. But the step return means I'm inside a method and I feel that I checked enough, I found the bug, and I don't want to go through every single line. Just finish this method and take me back to where it was called. Now if you see here guys, when I click here step over, it will reach on this line, okay. Now here is a method call. I will use step into. Now it will go inside this method and it will execute this line, which means this line is not yet executed. But here I want to execute this line, so I will click on step over, right? Now for example, I found the bug here, that is 160. Now I want to return from here. I don't want to execute these 3 lines. I want to return immediately because I found the bug. Now I want to return immediately. I'm using the word immediately, okay. Then in that case, you can click on step return. Now when I click here step return, as you can see, it instantly jumps out of the method and returns to the calling line, okay, which is actually line number 10. And now guys, what is conditional breakpoint? Okay, see, a conditional breakpoint is a breakpoint that only stops the program when a certain condition becomes true. Now if you see this example guys, I only want to stop the loop when I becomes negative, which means when it reach -2, I want to stop the loop. So if I set a normal breakpoint on line number 10, Eclipse will stop for every number, which means for 4, for 7, for 900 and for -2. But that's too many stops, right? I only want to stop when I becomes what? Negative. Eclipse will pause only when I is equal to -2. But right now, my array has only 6 elements, right? So you might think, why not just use step over 6 timers? The answer is yes, you can. But what if the array had 400 items, 5000 items, or even 1 lakh items? So are you going to press step over 100 timers, 400 timers, or even 1 lakh timers? Of course not. That's where a conditional breakpoints saves you, right? You tell Eclipse, hey, do not stop every time. Stop only when this special condition happens. So how to make this as a conditional breakpoint? So now I'm going to set one normal breakpoint on line number 10. How to make it conditional breakpoint? Just right click on this breakpoint and click on breakpoint properties and click here conditional, and you have to write here one line which is I less than 0, which means when I is less than 0 then you stop, okay, and click here apply and close. Now as you can see here guys, one question mark just came on the normal breakpoint, which means this is now conditional breakpoint. Now just go ahead and click on this debug icon and click here switch. Now as you can see here guys that I got only 4, 7 and 900. Why? Because it stopped here, okay, which means it stopped here. So which means Eclipse runs the loop super duper fast and automatically stops at the exact moment when the value becomes minus, right? So one last point is guys, the conditional breakpoints are not for small loops, they are for big loops where hundreds, thousands or even 1 lakh iterations are there. And now guys, here is our first example, right? I want to show you something which is very important. Now see here, I will set one normal breakpoint on line number 7, okay, and I will click on debug. Now guys, as you know that when I click here step over, it will highlight this line and it will execute this line, okay. Now I'm going to click here step over and again I'm going to click here step over, right? Now when I want to execute this line and now when I click on step over, you might think that it will highlight this line, right? But see here one magic. When I click here step over, it will not go on this line. It still highlighted this line. Why? See, when you hit a step over command, Eclipse actually wants this line to execute. But this line causes an exception because the line never executes successfully. The debugger cannot move to the next line. Which means if a line throws an exception, stepping over will not move to the next line. Because the program never reaches the next line, it crashes on the same line. And that's it for this video guys. If you found this helpful, do like, share and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Thank you.